These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. My voice cracked in the intro. Sam and I are here on Saturday, July 27th. And I lied for the last time, hopefully. I'm just me. It's just me today. Sam's still in Greece. I think he's traveling home today, actually. So this should be the final episode / video of How About Them Celtics for a while with just one of us. He'll be back into the fold. But for now, you're stuck with me. And so if you're sick of me, I'm very sorry. I can't help you. Sam will be back tomorrow on the YouTube channel and for Tuesday's pod if you're a strictly only Spotify / Apple podcast listener. But I will say, if you only listen on audio platforms, you're missing out on 4 things of content a week because we post every single day on the YouTube channel. So if you're an audio only listener, go check out the YouTube, subscribe to How About Them Celtics there. You get a daily video as well as these 3 times a week pods. But anyways, getting into things here, Derrick White talked to Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe for a feature about his Olympic journey, about Jaylen Brown calling him after the Twitter drama, kind of air quotes about Team USA, about everything going on, about how he came to be on Team USA because he was a replacement for Kawhi Leonard. So I figured I'd read a few quotes from that, react to it, talk about it a little bit, and get started with that. So the biggest thing was asked about, how it came about, what happened, and because by all accounts, he was not expected to be on Team USA. There were obviously the rumblings of if Kawhi Leonard has to leave or drops out or gets hurt, Derrick White could be a replacement. But from his perspective, it was, oh, now I just won a title. Now I can go home and chill and do nothing. And then he said, I just had to change plans really quickly. I was super excited. Once I got that call, it changed my focus. It's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because at the time, as Adam Himmelsbach detailed in his article, which you should all go read, it's on the bostonglobe.com, he was like, he was home in Parker, Colorado. He was hosting a camp in his hometown. He was doing film study that day, and he, instead of packing up all his stuff, he kept doing his camp he finished out the day, and then he went to, I don't know if he went right to Vegas or he went to meet them in Abu Dhabi. I forget where exactly he met them, but and then he went to meet Team USA after that. He talked about the experience of being at Team USA and playing and being around the group. He said, when you're around all the legends of the game, just watching them, that's a blessing and you learn so much. Even just being around them in the meal room and seeing how they act and how they prepare, just stuff like that. You don't really get playing against them. So it's pretty cool to see the behind the scenes and what makes them so special, which I thought was also pretty cool. Team USA put out a tweet, which I can try to find here in real time. You get to see my sleuthing skills and see how quickly they come about highlights. Like it was like Team USA basketball highlights, and it was just a ton of Derrick White. Yeah, here it is. Taylor Snow posted it. I'll put it at the bottom of my screen while I'm talking. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Bing, bang, boom. Let's see. Click this here. Saudi audio listeners, I'm almost done. Yeah, so Derrick White, or Team USA put out this highlight reel, and it just ended up being a bunch of Derrick White highlights from Team USA practice. I'll move out of the way so you guys watch it. I'll put it on the screen now so you guys can check that out. Just a little behind the scenes funniness as we watch Derrick White, or the YouTube watches Derrick White ball out in these highlights from Team USA practice. I just accidentally muted my mic and started talking for like 3 minutes, and Sam's not here, so I didn't know. And luckily I caught it before we went through the whole pod, but I just had to restart the recording because I muted myself and missed some conversation, and I wasn't sure how long I was muted. But what I was saying when I was muted and you guys didn't hear me, then I'll repeat. It is very weird to see Derrick White and Drew Holiday like playing on this team of Team USA. Not because they're bad players, quite the opposite actually, but like every other player on this roster is a perennial all-star. The only guys who really aren't are Halliburton and Edwards, and those guys are going to be perennial all-stars eventually. Like Halliburton's going to make the all-star team for years to come, and Edwards is going to make the all-star team for years to come. Devin Booker is a perennial all-star, even if he hasn't made it, a couple times. At points, like all these guys are perennial all-stars, and then you have Derrick White, who's never been an all-star, and Drew Holiday, who was an all-star one time over a decade ago, and and then one time now 2 years ago, or maybe I guess technically if you want to call it 1 year ago at this point. But they're just so good at fitting into whatever situation they need to that they've sort of transcended that role player status and become stars in their own right. It's like the Aaron Gordon level, like role player / star. Like those guys are just so good at being role players that they're no longer role players. They're just stars, and that's what Drew Holiday's done. That's what Derrick White has done. and they're just like, I don't want to say perfect basketball players, but I said this once at the start of the season, and I mean, you hear it when you heard D'Angelo Russell in training camp saying, "Yeah, I want to play like Derrick White." Like anybody who wants to make it in the NBA that isn't like a superstar should play like their Derrick White, or should play like their Drew Holiday, or should play like their Aaron Gordon. Like you should be copying those guys who have fit seamlessly into winning situations. Those are the guys you should be copying. You should copy Keegan Murray. You should copy all these guys who have found a way to seamlessly be a part of winning. OG Anunoby, like copy these high level role players, not Jayson Tatum. Don't copy Jayson Tatum. Don't copy Nikola Jokic. Like so few guys can be that if you try to copy them and you're not that, then you're not going to make it. And then you have Derrick White and Drew Holiday who are balling out on Team USA with 10 other top X players of all time, legends, because they're so good at fitting in and being a part of something special. So credit Derrick White. Couple more quotes as I take this off the screen here. That was Derrick White killing Team USA at practice, which is super fun. Go watch the YouTube. A couple other quotes from this Adam Himmelsbach article. Talked about the Jaylen tweets, and Jaylen already admitted or revealed that he gave Derrick White a call, but he said, Jaylen gave me a call, and I was like, yeah, you didn't need to call me. I know we're good. He gave me a call, and he said he just wanted to clear things up, and I told him we're all good. Never any problem or issue with us, for sure. He's a hell of a player, and I've never had a bad thing to say about JB. As everybody told you at the time, no one cared. like Derrick White is maybe the most easygoing person on the planet, not just in the NBA, but like ever. And so for anyone to have thought that he would have cared about or been pressed by the fact that Jaylen Brown tweeted that, just sorely mistaken and doesn't know anything about Derrick White. So never, ever, ever, ever was that going to be a problem. And then the last thing, he talked about what it's like to have won a championship and being back home and all that stuff. Excuse me, I have to cough. Sorry, had to mute. He said, I got back to Colorado and I'd go to the store or something and people would say congratulations or call me champ. It's a crazy feeling and it's been unreal. I don't want to read everything from the article because I want you guys to go read it. So go check out the article on thebostonglobe.com. Excuse me, Adam did a great job putting it together. And it was super fun to hear about Derrick White's experiences and stuff like that. But just a little insight into that as a piece of info on the pod. Next thing, very quickly, sticking with Team USA and even Derrick White and Jayson Tatum made a couple of funny jokes. And this isn't going to be a long segment, but I just thought it was entertaining, so I wanted to bring it up. So Derrick White was walking to the Olympic ceremony or something like that, and I'll pull it up on screen here so you guys can hear. And this was posted to Instagram by Team USA. Oh my God, it just blew my eardrums out. Daniel Donabedian, shout out Dan, threw it on Twitter. I'll play it here. This is the clip that went on Instagram and stuff like that about Derrick White, or they asked Derrick White a question, I should say.
Do you know how to tie a tie?
I do. I watched JT's tutorial. I aim to inspire people.
Do you know
It's just, so they're asking Derrick White if he knows how to tie a tie. He said yes, because I watched JT's tutorial, and Tatum responds by going, I aim to inspire people. And obviously, if you're a Celtics fan, you know the hilarious video posted to JT's Instagram called How to Tie a Tie. And apparently that was what Derrick White watched or joked about watching to learn how to tie a tie. And then he brought in the follow-up of how to tie a shoe as a promo for his new JTs, which was perfect marketing. Another clip we got from the ceremony was JT in a poncho because it was raining during the ceremony and they were on the boats in the river. Excuse me, let me turn the sound off for you. You get JT in the little like stop and shop poncho. Everyone else is chilling there. Steph. Excuse me. I know there were clips of Derrick White standing in front of the USA banner. This is them on the USA boat though, which is just super sick, super fun. And I will say it's also fun for like, I feel like everyone's gonna be like, oh, well, JT's been there before. These people have been there before. They haven't. Like JT won a gold medal. Here's Derrick White, JT and Drew Holiday together in the Team USA polos. I saw somebody on Twitter said they ruined it with the jeans, and I agree. I think they shouldn't have worn jeans. But excuse me. It does look like what I was saying is they haven't done it before because everyone's saying, oh, they won it in 2020. No, they didn't. The 2020 Olympics were in 2021. And it was COVID time. So no, they didn't get like this experience of going to the boats or doing all this extra stuff or like being out. And they took the tube to one of the games in London because there was traffic. Like they didn't get those experiences. And so they finally got them this time around, which is super cool. And then this is the viral picture of Derrick White standing in front of the banner that says United States of America on the boat Let me pull it up on the screen. Oh, Derek. It's just him. So this is like they pan to the US on TV. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the PrizePicks community today. With PrizePicks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 while watching Team USA rack up the gold medals this summer. You can make a PrizePicks lineup of players across basketball, soccer, tennis, golf, and more in as little as 60 seconds. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and you're locked in. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Sam and I use PrizePicks all throughout the NBA playoffs as the Celtics were making their run. If you guys tuned into the pregame show, you saw it. We like Drew Holiday blocks. We always picked Jayson Tatum to get a dunk. That was a lock for us. And we always picked less on the opposing stars' points. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And there's a big sign on the boat that says United States of America, but Derrick White's just standing in front of the sign that says United States of America. And Trevor Haas, my coworker at Celtics blog and a writer for the Boston Globe, tweets out Derrick White is the United States of America. Oh, Derek, just stand in there. Just standing in front of the poster. That's awesome. That rocks. Last little Celtics thing here. We're gonna short show today because it's just me and because it's August. We'll get a lot more creative when Sam is back in terms of coming up with different methods and forms and content for you guys that aren't just news. But it's tougher when it's just me. But Daryl Morey had a message for the Celtics, which I don't want to say is going viral, but people are talking about it a decent amount. He was on 97.5 The Fanatic, which is a radio station, I assume in Philly. I don't actually know. I'm sorry. He said, "You've got to give the Celtics their credit. They won the title. They're an excellent team. They brought everybody back. They're on target, but we don't feel like we give up anything to them, and we're going to be coming to take the title away from them." To which I say, I respect the confidence. I respect the heck out of the confidence from Daryl Morey, but saying we don't give up anything to them, the radio station is in Philly, by the way, is a bit of a questionable statement, considering, should I do some research? When is the last time the 76ers won a playoff series against the Celtics? Throw some guesses in the comments while I look this up. Let's take a look. When is the last time they won it? Yes. So I'll give you multiple choice, chat. Was it 2000? Was it 2015? Was it this century? Or was it 1982? It was 1982. The last time the 76ers beat the Celtics in the playoffs was in 1982. Did I say 72? 82. Sorry, I'll give them that extra decade. My bad. I don't even know what I said. 1982 was the last time they played each other in the playoffs. And in everyone's defense, the Celtics went through a little bit of a dead period. The Sixers went through a little bit of a dead period. However, excuse me. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Let me look at all the matchups since then. Looking here. In 2002, even after Allen Iverson and the Sixers had made a finals appearance and the Celtics were bad, Celtics still beat them in the playoffs. 3-2. They beat the defending conference champions. Paul Pierce beat Allen Iverson. Beast. 2012, 10 years later, they met. Celtics won. Sixers were 8 seeds, so they weren't very good then. 2018, Jayson Tatum beat them. The infamous 3-0 Marcus Morris game. Easy. 2020, swept. See you later. 2023, like, it's just, it's not a rivalry. They cook them, as Embiid said. Embiid admitted it. He said it's not really a rivalry. They kick our ass. So from Morey to say they don't really have anything on us, wrong. You're just wrong. Like, I will say the Sixers have a much better team heading into this season than they had last season, right? Objectively so. Paul George is a great player. I don't care how old he is, even if it's just for the season. He's a great player. He was an all-star last year. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure he was an all-star last year. Tyrese Maxey is only getting better. Embiid is good. Kelly Oubre is a damn good player. I'll eat crow. He's better than Tobias Harris right now. I admit it. My bad. I'm still right, though. Tobias Harris got more money in free agency. Who would have thought? Me. Kyle Lowry's a good player. Like, they brought in a good team. Brought in Caleb Martin. Like, they've got good players. They're just not as good as the Celtics. I don't even think they're as good as the Knicks. Like, I don't see it. I think they're on par with the Bucks, maybe a little worse than the Bucks. And maybe that's just me coming from a place of not trusting Philly, because I do think Paul George was a phenomenal addition. And I think they'll be a better team this year should Embiid stay healthy. But for Morey to sit there and say, we don't feel like we give anything up to them, buddy, I don't know what to tell you. I got nothing for you. Who's guarding the Jays? Paul George will guard one of them, and then Caleb Martin guards the other. Kelly Oubre guards the other. Who's Maxey guarding? You can't guard Derrick White. You can't guard Drew Holiday. Like, Embiid is going to guard Porzingis, I guess, which is fine. But Horford's still here. And every year, everyone says, oh, he's older. He can't do it again. He can't do it again. He keeps guarding Embiid. He keeps doing a bang-up job guarding Embiid. I don't know, man. You kind of have to say that as a GM, or you got to stay confident in your team. But that was a funny quote, because they very clearly do give up stuff to the Celtics. And by give up, I mean every single playoff matchup for the last, what is it now, 40 years? Over 40 years. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one. Anyways, let's let's go to the email here. Let me make the emails big on the screen, and I'll be small. Let me adjust the background real quick. Here we go. Don't worry about it. Oh, well, it's not going to be as easy as I thought. There we go. Okay. As a reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. We check the emails every single pod, even if Sam's not here. I know we have a email from a new person today, so I appreciate you for tuning in and being a part of this. We appreciate you very much. So let's go to the emails here and check it out, starting with Patrick Bringus. Let me take this overlay off the screen so you can see all the emails perfectly. Patrick, thank you for emailing us. Preseason international matchups. Good morning, Sam and Jack. Sorry, it's just me today. I'm sorry, Patrick. Sorry to disappoint. Just wanted to get your take on the Celtics preseason matchup internationally expanding to go up against the EuroLeague champions, Panathinaikos. I'm definitely butchering that. Since their head coach, Ergin Ataman, wanted to call it the Seas for World Title World Champions. If you want to get the title World Champion, come beat us. Thinking this matchup would be great for bragging rights and settle the debate once and for all. Thanks, VR, Pat. I mean, I'm down. I don't know. I think it would have to be a part of the preseason schedule. I think that's a good idea. We did a video on this. Excuse me one sec. Excuse me. We did a video on this, and our kind of line of thinking was, why would the Celtics do it? They don't really have anything to gain, and they have everything to lose because everyone already assumes they're the better team. So why would they go do it if that's already the general assumption? But I think if you make it a part of the preseason schedule, like every year, like that's always a thing where the NBA champs goes to play the EuroLeague champs. That'd be cool. I wouldn't hate it. I think the Celtics would smack them if they tried. Obviously, I will also say though that could open the can of worms. Where if the NBL is like, wait, we think our champion's the best, or the Chinese league is like, we think our champion's the best, or the Turkish league is that we think a German league. You know, I'm like, there's so many different teams. So I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I definitely think it was very fun. So I'm all in on it, but I don't know if it ever actually happened, but thanks, Patrick. Email us again. I'll ask this to Sam as well. But we did do a video on it a little earlier, so I'll keep this up here just because I know you addressed both of us, and I know this is your first email. So apologies that you don't get Sam's take as well. Next one from Philip. Olympic basketball, fellas. I hope your vacations ended on strong notes and that you are interested in the Olympics. I am, Philip. I don't know if Sam is, but he's not here right now, so that's all that matters. One thing that seems to be a talking point about the Olympics is that USA basketball inevitably losing its advantage in international competition. Most, Windy, Low, etc., are saying this is the last year. Do you guys agree? From my perspective, I think the decline is real, but greatly exaggerated. It reminds me of when US had a breakout couple years of soccer a decade ago, and people said the world was unnoticed because USA's love of professional sports. In hindsight, years later, we can see that the love of soccer is just too disproportionately low in the USA compared to the rest of the world. Basketball is very much an American sport today and for the foreseeable future. That's my take. All the best, Phil. I agree and disagree. I don't think it's an American sport. I think football is the only true American sport right now, and because even baseball is like big in Japan and other countries. Basketball is a worldwide thing now. I think Canada is huge now. I think obviously like all over Europe. I think the difference is though, it is huge all over Europe. I think the way that would be fair, like I'll put it this way. America's too big. America is like all of Europe. And so when you can pull talent from all of the giant country, and it's huge all over the country, that's why the U.S. is so stacked, is going to stay so stacked. And I think the U.S. is going to continue to be the best basketball powerhouse. Like, because even when like the LeBrons, KDs, and Stephs retire, you're still going to have guys coming in like Jaylen Brown or John Morant if he gets his act together, or De'Aaron Fox. Like, you're still going to have elite basketball players, right? Jalen Brunson. But the difference is it's bigger. Like there's just more to pull from. And so I think if you split it up by state, then you'd have teams that were a lot more even. Like California would be really damn good. Ohio would be pretty good because of Steph and LeBron, and those would probably be more even with the Serbias of the world, with the Greeces of the world, with the Italys of the world, because you've got states which are roughly the size of the European countries to pull from. But that's not going to happen because it's the Olympics and it's the whole country. And so I think that's the bigger reason why it'll stay dominant. And I still think the USA will be the best team in the world for a while. Although I do think other places are catching up because of popularity and stuff like that. But hopefully that answered your question. I think it's declining, but I don't think it's going to be the last year or anything like that. I still think they're going to be pretty damn good. Maybe just not quite as good. Last thing from RJ, summer programming requests. Happy Thursday, folks. As we get into what network TV used to call the summer replacement season, I'm happy to send filler content via email. My first thought was to do a look at the Celtics during the last time the NBA was on NBC, but that was 90 to 2002, which kind of lines up with last summer's Did You Know timeline. Here's a preview of what you might see. Feel free to throw in suggestions too. Awesome. I will absolutely show this to Sam as well. Lesser known Celtics, 75 to 91 edition, basically last summer sequence, but even further back in time. I love it. A tribute to Red on Round Ball trading segments. Love it. The guy before, a look at the players who retired numbers before the honoree, who wore retired. Ooh, I like that a lot. Who wore numbers report before the person who was retired for. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. The late 70s rebuilds from Hondo and Cowens to Cowens and Birds. I like that. Stuff about food. Please always stuff about food. If you're hearing this and you listen to the pod, always email us about food. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. I remember my dad taking me to Fenway Park as a kid, getting to watch David Ortiz and Dustin Pedroia sitting in the Green Monster and taking in all there is to love about the iconic ballpark. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Taking a look at my Game Time app right now, I see plenty of great deals to watch my favorite sports teams and my favorite tickets to Noah Khan. You guys know that's my favorite artist. I even used it while in Las Vegas for Summer League to get tickets to a women's basketball game. Some of my favorite features in the Game Time app include letting me see what the price is going to be with fees included. It makes so much easier to take a look and see what the actual price I'm going to pay is. Also, you get to see exactly where you are sitting. It's a great way to know exactly the experience you're going to get. I also love the fact that you can get great last-minute deals. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, or anything else. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. We'd love food. Life of RJ, including some of my photography. Also love that. Yes, please. And then I want photography from RJ. I want chorus stuff from Pete. I want travel stories from Portugal from Phil. I want food truck stories from Joey Spatulas. I want anything from Eli and John and everybody. I appreciate you all. And you guys what make the summer fun for us. So email us with all your fun shit. All right. We'd appreciate it very much. We love you all. Thank you, RJ. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you very much. We always appreciate y'all's emails. And I know Sam would say the same, even though he's not here at the moment. But yeah. Moving on for the rest of the show. Let's let's go to the NBA section here for a little bit. The Suns traded David Roddy to the Hawks. I don't like this would be one of the segments that lasts 45 seconds with me and Sam. I don't really get it. Like the Suns kind of need all the talent they can get. This is the conversation Sam and I would have if it was happening. Excuse me, I have to cough 1 sec. So I don't really get why they traded him away. He played pretty well in summer league. I saw him play one game and he looked pretty good. In the summer league for the Hawks this year, he averaged 14.8 points, 6.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists on 46-37 splits. Like he was pretty good. That feels like something that maybe they could use. He didn't shoot necessarily well in Vegas. Actually, he shot 16% from 3 in Vegas, but he shot super well in Salt Lake City. So that's always been a thing. He's an inconsistent 3-point shooter, but I don't know. This is like a random trade. I don't really get it for either side, but go off, I guess. Next thing from Mark Stein, the Bulls are almost going to be forced to keep Zach LaVine around. He says, league sources say that the Bulls are thus resigned to the fact that they will likely be forced to start the new season with LaVine on the roster and take a step further by trying to help him rebuild some trade value after months of fruitless efforts to find a new home via trade. And after a foot injury and eventual surgery, limited the 29-year-old to 25 games last season. Tough. I still stand on the hill that Zach LaVine can be useful. Can he be useful at his current contract? Probably not as much, but I still think he's a good player. I still think it would be worth one of these fringe playoffs teams to trade for him. I still look at the Kings, even though they got DeRozan, so it doesn't make as much sense anymore. I still look at those types of teams that are not necessarily in the best spot. I think the Lakers would be a fine Zach LaVine trade destination. I know they probably don't want to do it. They probably want something better, but I think he would help them with his off-ball play and shooting and scoring. I think he would give them a huge boost on the offensive end. I think that let's see, God, there really aren't as many anymore now that the Kings traded for DeRozan. The Kings are always my go-to. I think he'd fit fine on the Heat, but I don't think they want to take on that money, and I think they already have Tyler Hero. I think he'd be a fine buck to help their offense out, but you'd probably run into too many defensive problems with him and Dame. Yeah, maybe there aren't as many good Zach LaVine destinations. I think the Lakers are the real one. They have a pretty good defensive infrastructure with AD out there, with LeBron, with some other guys they have up and down the roster. But excuse me, I don't know if they want to do it. Yeah, the Bulls are fucked, man. They needed to trade him so long ago, and they just didn't. They just kept holding on to him, and now they're cooked. Same thing with Vucevic. There's no market for him anymore. It's a tough look. Next thing, Nuggets sign Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was traded and bought out by the Jazz for the second time in 2 years. Same thing that happened to Reggie Jackson. The Hornets traded to the same team and bought out by the same team in 2 years. Weird, funny, whatever. Kind of a weird fit in Denver. Can't shoot. They traded Reggie Jackson to make some space, and their offseason ends with Russell Westbrook and Dario Saric being the additions. I love the Dario Saric fit in Denver. Russell Westbrook fit doesn't make quite as much sense to me. He can't really shoot the ball, which is fine. Like I feel like I've taken on the rap of you need to shoot to fit it anywhere. I am of the belief that unless you're in a very specific situation like Aaron Gordon in Denver, you got to shoot to be an effective role player. That's kind of just like how today's NBA is going to work at this point. There are very few exceptions in my eyes, and maybe that's just how I perceive the game and role players and stuff like that. But he's a good leader. From everything we've seen, if he's willing to take on this bench role, I think it could be a good fit. He's a hustler. He's a great rebounder. He's a great energy guy. He could take some playmaking duties off the hands of Jokic and Jamal Murray, which is good. So I hope it works. I like Russ. I'm a big fan of Russ. I think he's gotten way too much hate over the latter years of his career. I think he's a great player. I'm just curious to see how the fit's going to work because Denver is running into a situation where they don't really have a ton of those top-notch role players anymore. So they're kind of hoping that he can turn into one of them. And I guess that's what they're banking on. Last NBA thing, same old. We have 3 trade rumors that we've been hearing for the entirety of forever that have come up again. 1, Lakers are shopping D'Angelo Russell. Shocker, right? He's always going to be in trade rumors, it feels like. 2, the Jazz don't want to trade Markkanen, but they would do it if it's an offer they can't refuse. How many times can we do this, Danny? How many times, Danny Ainge? Please, man. Just do it or don't. Stop. Cut it. And then lastly, Brandon Ingram trade is not imminent, but they don't want to extend him. Why? What then? For what? What are we doing? Trade him or let him go? I don't care for the rumors anymore. I'm over it. Okay. Let's see if I can come together for a rat list for you guys. Let's see. What do I got? I just got back from the Cape. Rat list traffic. Traffic's always terrible. I always hate it. Rat list, this truck behind me on the highway. He was just tailgating me in a 55 zone, and I was going like 70. Fuck you. Eat shit. I know Sam and I always get mad at like drivers and traffic and stuff like that. But I will say, if I'm going the appropriate speed for the left lane, like if everyone in the right lane is going the speed limit and I'm going like 15 over, like if it's 65, they're going 65, I'm going like 75, 80. And somebody's behind me tailgating me because they want to go super fast and dangerous fast, don't care. I'm going the correct speed. Fuck you. And I get it. It is if you want to speed, go in the left lane. And I'll try to get out of the way if I can, but I'm not going to go 65. So just be a normal human and go a little bit speedy like the rest of us. What else? What else do I got for you guys? Rat list moving because my room is a disgusting mess and I know I'm going to have to clean it before I move in a month and I'm not looking forward to it. That's going to suck. It's not going to be a fun time. Yeah. It's very unfortunate. What else do I got for you? Let's see. Vacation was fun. I don't really have any good rat lists. The Cape was great with my family. I mean, you guys met my brother and sister on the show a few days ago. Me and Henry are not twins, by the way. I'm 20. How old am I? I'm 25. He's 23. My sister's 21. So I'm the oldest. Not twins. No twins. No triplets. They're younger than I am. Man, I don't know what else I got for you. Anti-rat list, the outdoor shower. I think I said this to Sam. Love the outdoor shower. Feels great. Super nice. Very fun. I took a bunch. I was taking outdoor showers like 2 a.m. I just went out there. I'm like, you know what? I can't sleep. I'm gonna go shower. Rat list. So if you listen to the show, you heard me rat list my bed on the Cape. Excuse me. Because it moved and it had wheels and it did. So I started sleeping on the couch, which was terrible. It was not a comfortable couch at all, but it folded out into like this quote unquote bed, but it wasn't a bed in the sense of like, oh, there was like pillows. There was a place which you had. No, it was just like a board. Like there was no like armrest on this couch. It was just a flat board basically that I was sleeping on. And it clearly wasn't designed well to be a bed because one night I rolled over and I was on one side of the bed and it tipped and it was like 4 a.m. and I just fell over. And then this is a very quiet place. So my sister woke up because she was in the room next to me and I got a cramp in my leg and I just started like muffled screaming like, because it was like, I think I've described myself having one of those cramps before on the show when I was sleeping over. I was at my buddy's house in Boston where I'm moving into soon. And she was like, "Are you okay?" She just came out of her room, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't move. I got a cramp." And so ratless the beds at this place in the Cape, they just were terrible. And my sister told me I was dehydrated, and I got in an arguing match. So the buddy who I woke up last time, when I got a cramp and woke him up because he was sleeping on the couch next to me, he said, I told him I got another calf cramp and I want to die. He told me I need to hydrate, and I said no. And he told me to grow up. And then I told him I drank a glass of milk with my breakfast. And then he said I drink black coffee like a real man. And I told him he sickened me. And then he hit me with the ditto Michael Scott. And I hit him with the Tatum ditto because he sent me the same thing with the wine glass. You'll get it if you're watching the YouTube. That might have made no sense if you're listening on audio platforms. But anyways, I don't know how much else I got for you guys. I think this was about 30 minutes of content for you today for a pod. I'm sorry the full pods have been a little bit janky this past week. Like I said, we're back to normal on Monday and going into next week with the full pods. And for hopefully most of August, September could get a little funky because I'm moving into the city and I'm not going to have my same Wi-Fi. I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is in my new place. So I'm going to have to figure that out and stuff. So September might get a little meh as well, but the schedule should be okay. But yeah, I think that's it. I know Sam was very sad he couldn't be here for this week. He kept texting me like how he hates missing the show, so you'll get him back. And I know you guys probably miss him too, because I remember I saw a comment on Reddit, people saying like, "Oh yeah, watching." They were like, "Oh, what's the Celtics pod I should watch?" And everyone was like, "Oh, watch How About Them Celtics." And someone was like, "Yeah, Sam's hilarious. Jack's cool too." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So I know who you guys are really missing, but sorry you're stuck with me for this little bit. But anyways, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics on YouTube, follow us on Spotify and Apple. Leave us a review on Apple. That's the big one. If you leave us a review on Apple, it helps the audio podcast grow. So please leave a review on Apple, 5 stars as well. And if you're not going to leave 5 stars, you don't have to. You don't got to do anything. But leave a like, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JackSimoneNBA. You can follow Sam on Twitter at SamLaFranceNBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.